We have a Black Moon Lilith activation transit today. The transiting moon in Gemini is in opposition to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. This is psychological. The context of this psychological pressure, activation, it's based in where you are in the wilderness, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, where you are in the wilderness, this is raw energy of yourself, raw true of yourself, suppressed expressions of yourself, suppressed truth that you are convicted with, that has not found acceptance in the world. It has not found acceptance in society. It has not found agreement in the world. It has not found support, nurturing, care, embrace. It doesn't have a sense of belonging. And that is certain opinions that you have, certain desires that you have, certain preferences that you have, certain ideas that you have, certain beliefs that you have, all of your convictions. And it's what you've been suppressing in the wilderness of the self, all alone, isolated, in the cold. And it's like a Neanderthal that's just wandering through the wilderness, and it is yet to come into civilization. And so when someone spots this Neanderthal, somebody spots this Bigfoot, they look at it in amazement and they're bewildered. They're like, we need to chain it up. We need to shoot it. We need to get it out of here. Oh my God, hide the kids. It's dangerous. And so this is the part of you, the expression inside of you, that is just like somebody spotting Bigfoot, okay? Because it's in the wilderness of yourself. So it's something about yourself that people treat as if they're seeing Bigfoot, as if they're seeing an alien, as if they're seeing a bear just roaming out of its natural habitat. And they're getting terrified because it has not yet agreed to systemic ideas, systemic programming, collective agreements. This could be in the relationship. Oh, I thought we were about this. I thought we was on this page. I thought we was thinking this accord. I thought we had this particular idea of everything. But you see it different. You feel different about it. And there's this hesitation for you to say something because you're reading the fact that a very heavy assumption is being held over you. Expectations are being held over you. Judgments are being held over you. And you don't necessarily see it the way that the other person is seeing it, but they have all of their heart into, they have all of their bets placed on you being a certain way, or there being a limitation to who you are or how you are going to express yourself, how you're going to show up. It's like a very rigid man that's just standing over you, okay, expecting you to do everything the way he wants you to do it, when he wants you to do it, how he wants you to do it, and you can't have an opinion. You can't have an alternative perspective. You can't think outside of the box that he has put you in. Because if you do, he's going to judge you. He's going to criticize you. He's going to scrutinize you. He's going to shame you back into position. It's just going to be the feedback of, oh, that's ridiculous. Why would you have an idea like that? Why would you ever think something like that? Oh my God, that's just crazy. That's not our tradition. That's not the way we do it. Well, why would anybody? Oh, that's just stupid. Who would think of something like that? Okay, and so it's this suppression inside of yourself that you may not have found yet the courage or the self-love to be able to express it. The moon on the opposite end, in opposition in Gemini, the moon is telling us where we have to nurture something, where we have to direct a nurturing sense of urgency to a particular expression. And because the moon is in Gemini, it means nurture a proper communication for this expression coming out of the wilderness of the self. The expression coming out of the wilderness of self, it's inevitable that it's going to meet shame, criticism, rejection, objection. It's going to be placed in contempt, okay? It's going to be placed in contempt of court. Because no matter how you, no matter what gets said, no matter how you express it, you already know that you're going to be written off for this. Okay, this is like somebody walking in and reading your journal. Okay, you took a shower, somebody walks in your room and you got your journal open. You usually don't do it, but your journal is open, and they reading your journal and they see your secret thoughts that they never thought you had. But because everybody around the household is so ass tight about having certain opinions, like the Scorpio type energy around the household. All right, listen to what I'm saying. The Scorpio type energy around the household, where there are assumptions over others' identities, where there is a domination over others' identities, where there's no room or wiggle room or space for somebody to be their self. There's just these constant assumptions and control over, your behavior, your thought process, your opinions. If you stray from it, they look at you like a heretic. They look at you as an extremist. They look at you like, you've been bewildered or bewitched. There's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? You might write it, I don't know, you might be, okay, for example, you might be, some Asian girl, okay, and you wrote in your journal, oh my God, I just wish I could be with a black guy one day. You know what I'm saying? And your pops read that shit, and he just starts spazzing. Oh my God, you're gonna be with a black guy. Oh my God, I thought I raised you better than that. It's one of those type situations. You know what I'm saying? Or a girl who decides that she want to be with girls. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, it's a truth of yourself that comes out that disagrees with the tradition of whatever relationship dynamic that you are fully vested with. Rather it's your wife, husband, rather it's your family, your siblings, your mother, your father, your grandparents, your ancestors, your community, your demographic. Okay, so this is you seeing an unconformed truth that has to be expressed, that has to be said, and you're unable to hold it back. Or some event takes place that exposes that truth, even though you've been trying to hide it, and it ends up getting out somehow that you think this way. It ends up getting out somehow that you feel this way, and it starts it starts a cycle of undoings. It starts a cycle of conflict, arguments. People are taking it back, clutching their pearls, gasping for air. I never thought you would think. Oh my God, can you believe they said, can you believe he thought this? It's that type of energy. You know what I mean? You could, okay, another example. You could be a man who finally, just gives up the ghost and just be completely honest with yourself. Hey, you know what? Everybody expects me that, I'm just supposed to go along with this whole monogamous idea that they pressing on us. Y'all heard me talking about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? And people are expecting me to go along with this whole monogamous idea. I see it different than everybody else sees it. I see it as coercion. I see it as signing up for what I'm not sincerely aligned with, honest with, or true to. I want to do what I know I'm going to be true to. I want to do what I know I'm going to be authentic to. I'm going to do what I know I can be held accountable to. But the moment you say that, the moment you step outside of their control, their controlled idea of what limitations they have placed on your expression, your identity, or your claim of authenticity, it becomes a problem. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. You're a heretic. You're crazy. You're extreme. There's something wrong with you. That's just nuts. Why would anybody think like that? But then on the back end, this is how Black Moon Lilith works. It's always on the back end that everybody realizes you were right all along. Okay? Because where the shock comes in is that Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith, it exposes the fact that no matter how much gel you put in your hair, No matter how many suits you put on, no matter how much education, no matter how proper you talk, no matter how perfect you try to be, no matter how conservative you try to appear before the people, your nature still remains as your nature. Okay? And Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith is exposing, I know your nature. I'm just a reflection of your nature. You're hiding and I'm not. You're pretending to be a goody two-shoe and I'm not. So the only difference between me, who you're calling a heretic, is that I'm not playing the game that you're playing. I'm not playing the role that you're playing. The goody two-shoes, the upright righteous guy, the person who has it all together, who's all perfect, the person who doesn't have a fault in the world, who ate their vegetables, dot their I's and cross their T's. Okay? So you're exposing that, guess what? All of our nature is the same. And I'm here to show you that I have the courage and freedom to be myself, but you don't. You get the support of the society that agreed that this is the way that we're supposed to live, this is the way that we're supposed to think. But I dared to step outside of that and return to the wilderness. I dared to get my tent and say, you know what, I'm leaving the big city and I'm going into the deep depths of the wilderness where I can be myself again. I don't care about your programs. I don't care about your perfect living. I don't care about your high rises and all the gel and grease that you got in your hair. I don't care about your fanciness. You know, you're walking around pretending like you got the perfect family and white picket fence and all these picture perfect ideals. You're all liars. You're all frauds. You're all cosplaying. You're all pretending. None of you are free. All of you are trapped. You're trapped by the opinion of other people. You're trapped by the assumptions of other people. You're trapped by the judgments and criticism of other people. You're trapped by the scrutiny of other people. And you're looking at me like I'm the heretic? No, I'm free. Because I'm choosing to be who I want to be. I'm choosing to be who I know I really am. And not hiding it, not pretending. Okay? And I like to use myself. Because myself is the best thing that I could describe. I used to go through this a lot when I was younger, okay, about this whole monogamy and poly thing, okay? I never agreed to the idea that I know 99% of men are lying, okay, with this whole monogamy thing. Men are lying. They're lying through their damn teeth. And to get people to look at them in a certain light, to get people to like them, to get people to accept them, to make sure that the girl don't run away from them, so that the girl doesn't say, hey, oh, well, you can't, well, I'm not going to be with you because you're not going to be monogamous. You're not going to choose to be with only one woman, so I can't do that. They're so scared of losing the girl. They're so scared of being rejected. They're so scared of not being liked and accepted, to where they sell their soul, they sell the truth about themselves, and they give a lie, only later on to be exposed in that same lie that they allowed themselves to be coerced in on a false default contract of monogamy that you never even believed in the first place. So what do? You go through that relationship cheating, you're going behind her back, you're living out the Sagittarius truth, Black Moon Lilith truth of yourself in secret. You're doing it behind her back, but you don't have the guts to be honest about it and practice it forthcoming, transparent, where she and the family knows what you're doing. You don't have the guts to do that, but you're gonna call the one who's honest about the fact. Hey, I'm not monogamous. Don't assume that of me. Don't put that on me. I cannot fulfill that contract. I cannot fulfill that expectation. That's not my nature. I didn't sign up for that. That's not who I am. So if that's what you're expecting, you need to go find somebody else, because I can't help you with that. So if somebody says that, they're wrong, they're evil, they're perverted, something happened to them, they went through abuse or trauma, or they got commitment issues or whatever else. People will label you all kind of ways if you decide to go against the conformed ideals that have already been set out in society, the traditional ideas and assumptions that have already been set up. But you have to be very secure in yourself to claim this part of yourself, okay? I've been blessed enough to be secure in myself to where I can claim many things about myself that doesn't need people to agree with me. I don't need people to like me. I don't need people to agree with me. I don't need people to co-sign me. I don't need people to, it doesn't threaten me if somebody says, hey, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to reject you, I'm going to walk off, or none of that bothers me. I'm okay with all of that because I already suffered those things. I already got my immunity shot for all those things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm free. What you hear, that's why when you hear my messages and you hear my content, it sound, you know what I'm saying, it sound like a wacky crazy dude, like I'm Kanye West part 2 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm you know, I'm a Gemini just like Kanye is. I'm a Gemini just like Tupac is. I'm a Gemini just like Donald Trump is. Okay? All the crazies, all the people who seem like they're crazy, yeah, we're the Geminis. Okay? But are we really the crazy ones? I'm just saying. Stop and think about it. Are we really the crazy ones? Because in the beginning, we look crazy. But in the end, everybody always has to come back and say, damn, you was right. You see what I'm saying? That's because, you know, we not dick sucking everybody to get agreement. We don't suck dick to get agreement. We don't sit around sucking dick to be accepted in this world. If you like us, you like us. If you don't, fuck it. Have a nice day. I could give a damn. I could be by my damn self and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? I would love to have you around. But if not, I'm not gonna fucking die. You know what I'm saying? And so Sagittarius Black Moon, we have to learn to bring out the part of us that doesn't have accommodation in society. The part of us that doesn't have agreement in society. The part of us that's not liked by the traditional. The part of us that the conservative does not agree with. Now, match this to what's going on, you know, even in the political world, okay? We have to get used to being comfortable in our own skin with non-conservative ideas, with non-conformist ideas, with the truth and the conviction of our soul that our family might disagree with, you know, relationship partners might object to. Okay, where in your life do you have expressions that you've been suppressing that might have you to stand contempt in court? Okay, contempt. Okay, it's where the contempt is in you. It's where the objection is in you. It's where you could be threatened to be rejected because of that expression. If you're not living on that edge, you're lying. If you're not living on that edge, you're hiding. If you're not living on that edge, you're still a coward. If you're not living on that edge, you're worshiping man and you're worshiping woman. If you're not living on that edge, you are controlled. If you are not living on that edge, you are somebody's bitch. You are somebody's slave. If you are not living on that edge, you sold your soul. You don't have an identity. You don't have freedom. You have to learn how to get dirty. You have to learn how to become Bigfoot, dragging your knuckles through the forest and everybody looking at you like a heretic. They're hiding. They're gasping for air and clutching their pearls. Is there anything about you that causes people to clutch their pearls and gasp for air? If not, you're not doing it right. You're not living right. You are not aligned with this energy properly. Why are you not causing people to clutch pearls? I'm not saying make anything up. I'm not saying pretend or put on an act. But the truth of you should be flowing so well. The conviction of you should be flowing so well. The authenticity in you should be flowing so well and so electric, so fiery, so passionate, that every time people hear your voice, they gotta clutch their pearls like, damn, what's this nigga talking about? Whoa, oh my, wait, what? Wait, yo, say that again? You know what I'm saying? You have people sitting on the edge like, damn, yo, wait, I gotta take a break. Like, yo, I get back to you. You know, you got people's heads spinning because even though it sounds crazy, they're saying to themselves, inside of themselves, they're saying, damn, he's right though. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I know about myself. This is what I know about myself. I channel from the South Node Sagittarius all day. This is just who I am. I have a stellium in Sagittarius. I got Jupiter, and Uranus in Sagittarius. Okay, I got the Moon and Neptune in Sagittarius. I'm channeling. And Black Moon Lilith there too? Yeah, that's what you hear. All this heretic type energy that you hear out of me, the caveman dragged out the wilderness that you hear out of me, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm free. I'm fully free. And the freedom that I have, it shocks you and makes you uncomfortable. And that's why 99% of y'all, you can't figure out whether you like me or not. You can't figure out whether you fuck with me or not. You can't figure out whether or not you should be listening to me or not. You can't make up your mind because your cognitive mind says, no, this is not socially acceptable. But the spirit in you says, damn, that sounds like the freedom that I've been longing for. And that's why y'all confused out there. You know what I'm saying? I got, most of my followers are lurkers. There are people who hide and listen to me. There are people who listen to me in secret. And I know a lot of y'all are stealing from me too. I'm aware of that. Yeah. So a lot of y'all are stealing from me. And that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. I'm going to get it back from you. It's going to be in ways that you don't understand though. I'm going to get it back. Yeah. So keep stealing. But, people listen to me in secret because it's like I'm a taboo. Okay? That's Sagittarius Black Moon right there. It's taboo energy. Nobody's going to listen to me in front of their loved ones. Nobody's going to listen to me in front of people that they want to appear normal in front of. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Howard Stern. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Kanye West. It's like you got to turn the volume down when you listen to me because you don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what's going to come out. So you got to turn the volume all the way down because, I got kids around. I don't want my wife thinking I listen to it. I don't want my husband thinking I'm listening. I don't want my family thinking I think like this. I'm somebody who you got to hide and listen to. And that's Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith. And that's the part of you that you got to learn to get comfortable with. That you got to stop running away from. You got to stop hiding from that part of yourself. And this is how we get the solutions for the necessity. If there's shame, we can't solve the crisis of necessity that we have because shame becomes a limitation in how creative we can be. It becomes a limitation in how we can innovate. It becomes a limitation in how we can come up with routes to freedom and liberation. We're reclaiming the wilderness in the self. The wilderness in the self is expansion. You got an urban city that's put up. You got to go into the wilderness, knock down trees and forests and, flatten the land out to establish more territory. So this is the wilderness that we have to walk through in order to step into Capricorn construction. You first have to source territory in the wilderness. This is the wilderness where we're sourcing territory. The unspoken truth, the unacknowledged truth, the unspoken conviction and unacknowledged conviction about ourselves and how we see things are supposed to be, but we're scared to say it. How things should be, how things can improve. What is the real answer to freedom and liberation and expansion and expansiveness? But we're too shamed to say it. We're too shamed to admit it. We're too shamed to share our ideas. We're too shamed and controlled to, make it known, to give our feedback. Capricorn can't start until there is a Sagittarius declaration. New construction cannot begin until you clear the land of the new territory plot. So you see all that land over there with all those trees, you got to clear all that down first, flatten the land out. Then you start the Capricorn process of laying bricks, of pouring the foundation and laying bricks. That's Capricorn. Then you add the electric, the features and appliances and, fancy lights and all intricate systems of Aquarius. You see what I'm saying? That's how that works. So anyway, what is it about you, that breaks the cycle of tradition? What is it about you that stops the cycle of futility with you and your loved ones, you and your immediate environment or culture? What is it that you're assigned to do? You got to identify that and you got to find the guts to put it out there.